What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Time Teller. We're actually reviewing the very first Casio Databank I've ever personally owned. Now, special thanks to one of my certified T3 bots, Nick Howenstein, and his wife and his daughter. They're all avid viewers of mine, and they gifted me this little Casio Databank. This one is reference number CA53WF2B. Now, there's many different iterations of the Casio Databank. Actually, the first Databank was debuted by Casio back in 1983, so I think 6 years before I was born. And yeah, these have been around for a very long time. This is one of the more modern offerings with this really cool blue resin. I really dig it, and of course, love it or hate it, this does have a negative display. So is it kind of difficult to see when things get dim? Yes, but I really do like that contrast. I think the negative display looks very slick with this blue resin and the black numbers here. I just really like it. Now, what could they have done better? Well, they could have given it a backlight. This does not have that very cool Casio EL backlight. And this doesn't have like the G-Shock water resistance. Is it a tough watch? I'm sure, absolutely. I mean, it's a digital resin-cased Casio. But if you're expecting this to be rough and tumble, like say, my DW6900 Neo Tokyo, well, no, it's a very different kind of watch. But this does have its own unique functionality. If you want to go into Databank calculator mode, you press this button on the side and you're in calculator mode. But if you want to go tell the time, well, you just cycle through some of the menu and you're back in time telling mode. So let's go ahead and do it. It is 2:09 p.m. Let's get down to business. All right, guys, so here it is. A Casio calculator, again, CA53WF2B. I was able to find this online, hovering around $21, this exact blue resin variant. But again, there's so many out there to choose from, and they all hover around, well under the $50 mark. Now, what does this do? Well, it does a whole lot. Now, there's a bunch of buttons here on the front of the display, and this is obviously pretty much for the calculator mode, but if we get up close, you can see that some of the setting modes or setting buttons are here, and it says, let's see if I can get you in focus, lap reset and start stop. So this does in fact have, I can push the button, a chronograph. And the way you would start it is by pressing this button. You get a nice satisfying beep. You can stop it, and then here by the 0, you would clear it. You also have, again, main time zone, calculator. You have a daily alarm, excuse me. You have dual time, and you have a stopwatch. Very cool. Now, this calendar, I should note, is one of these very cool Casio auto calendars all the way to 2099. So unfortunately, if we live past that, this watch will be useless. No, I'm kidding. We're just going to have to manually, put in the date after that point. But all of our G-Shocks have those tricky, auto calendars, whether you like them or you hate them. Let's see. This is also approximately 5 years worth of battery life using an average watch battery. Again, something, I don't know if it's cursed or what, but my DW6600 G-Shock has been going on very strong since like 1995 or something, and I've never changed the battery on that, so I don't know what is going. It might be radioactive or something, but yeah. So on average, according to Casio's website, this will have approximately a 5 years battery life. But yeah, this is pretty standard. You can see it's incredibly thin, coming in, let's see, 7.9 millimeters according to my measurements. It's 34.4 millimeters by 42.7 millimeters. with that blue resin kind of rectangular case. You've seen it on my wrist already. I'm going to put it back on my wrist. But let's say you're not a fan of these resin straps. This does have drilled lugs, so you can go ahead and swap it out to whatever is your fancy, whether you want to be a little bit naughty and put this on a leather strap, or maybe you want to put it on, I don't know, you want to swap it out with another different, maybe black resin strap. I know there's an olive drab one out there. There's a whole bunch of different configurations of the Casio Databank because, again, it's been around since 1983. But very interesting to see drilled lugs on a Casio digital watch because, again, with most G-Shocks, you're not going to get that. You're going to get some version of these, you know, screwed lugs, which if you want to change the straps out on a G-Shock, you're screwed. No, I'm just kidding. I've made multiple episodes about how you can change the straps on your G-Shocks. If you want to figure out, then click up here, top right corner of the screen, there'll be a little pop-up for you there. So as we get up close to this number panel here, we can see that, you know, it gets kind of dirty. The more you touch it, the dirtier it gets. So if that bothers you, well, I suppose don't get super up close with your watches, but also maybe don't get a watch that you have to touch the front of the display. Another complaint I would have, again, I said this up front, doesn't have a backlight display. I would have loved to see a backlight display on this watch. Does not have it. The second button here on the side, a little bit too close. Let me see. Yep, you can see it right here. Little button down here that is recessed is actually how you would set the time and everything manually. So you do not have to really press that button ever because as long as you set it once and you got that auto calendar, you're pretty much good to go. As we look at the case back, we can see it does bear the CA53W reference number. Of course, this is most specifically the WF2B because of this blue resin variant. What I will say is here it says water resistant. Now, on Casio's own website, it just says water resistant. Doesn't even give it a meter designation because, of course, this is not what they would consider one of their G-Shocks or even one of their Pro Treks or anything like that. This is just a digital watch from Casio. So they don't expect you to go out and get this wet, but I've been on the forums before I filmed this episode and a lot of people have swam with their databanks, pressing their buttons underwater to see what would happen, and a lot of them have claimed to fare just fine. Now, if you type in Casio Databank water resistance, you will hear some people on the forums saying that they've damaged their databank swimming with it. So I guess we have a sampling on both sides. What's my recommendation? Probably just don't swim with it. You can get a DW5600 G-Shock that has like a 200 meter water resistance rating for like 37 bucks, I think the last time I checked. So yeah, if you want this and a watch you can swim with, get a G-Shock and have this. You can wear this during the day, and you can wear your G-Shock when you're doing spec ops missions in the marshland. You know, I don't know. Whenever I talk about water resistance ratings, people get upset because they're like, oh, when are you ever going to swim past 200 meters, time teller? Well, no one. Literally no one would. But a water resistance rating is not only a bragging right, but it's an installation of confidence. You feel very, very secure when you have a water resistance rating that is ridiculous because you know that if it can handle 200 meters of depth, then it'll probably handle your clumsy ass when you're trying to wash your hands and you splash yourself a little bit. So for reference, I do have about a 7.5 inch wrist, a little bit above that. This wears quite nicely. I've been wearing this as my everyday watch for almost a week now straight, and I just really enjoy it. Again, I've never owned a Casio Databank. They've come back in popularity in the recent years. I think, you know, style, not that I'm any form of a style guru, but, you know, style is kind of cyclical. Trends, you know, come and go, and then they come back around, and then they're out of fashion and back in fashion. And some of these retro accessories, you know, are ironically cool, and then they become actually cool again. And I think that's what's happened with these kind of old school digital watches. So the Databank, you know, it was just a matter of time, no pun intended, until it came back in fashion. So it's cool to see Casio come back with these in different colorways and different variants and configurations, but this and probably the olive drab one would be my favorite. I see some with a gold tone, I think, and I'm not as into that, bit too flashy, but I really dig this. One of my favorite parts about the watch, believe it or not, the black buckle. I really like it. I think it just, I don't know. I like the black and blue contrast. It's very, very fun. So again, for not a lot of money, you can get a watch with some pretty interesting history. It's been around for a good long time, and you have a very interesting complication, can we call it that? So yeah, some definite functionality, and it's not something you see every day, all for around 21 bucks. I will leave a link in the description below. If it's from Amazon, then it's probably an affiliate link, so if you use that to shop around, you do directly support the channel. And I want to thank each and every one of you for viewing my content, and I want to thank the Houndstein family for sending me this watch. It was such an amazing gift. I really do appreciate it. And showed up at my P.O. box right around my birthday, so thank you. Best birthday present ever. All right, guys. Well, check out all the affiliate links in the description below. Check out my personal website, thetimetellershop.com. Thank you all for just all the support. Again, we're coming on 4 years now, the Time Teller channel, and I couldn't have done any of this without you guys. So this is just another example of me having the best viewers in the world sending me these really funky watches to review. I really do appreciate it, guys. I will see you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. Hold on, I gotta calculate something really quick. Nice. Hold on, I need to clear it. Very nice.